Alright, product rule is when you multiply like bases. So this one at the top, you would do a to the m plus n. I didn't even notice that the assignment that goes with it has hearts on it. Look at me go killing it. Perfect timing. Alright, so number 1, what would the answer be for here? H to the 8th. Good. Take a point, Elmer. And number 2, what would that be? Good. Take a point. Remember on our iHeart exponents when we had some that we could combine? Like when we could combine them with the adding and subtracting? Once we got the same thing? That's what this note in the middle means. So it says adding and subtracting monomials. Combine like terms. Do not add or subtract the exponents. So color that in, make it pretty so that it stands out. You will not have any on your test tomorrow like that, but you will. That's our next section that we're getting into, and it's super exciting. Are we ready for the quotient rule? What does the word quotient mean? Division. So when we divide like bases, what do we do to those exponents? Subtract them. Take a point. So it's a to the m minus n. What do we do with the coefficients? What do we do?
Oh.
Not the coefficients.
Oh. No.
The coefficients are the big numbers. What do we do with the big numbers? Divide them. Yes, good, Elmer. Take another point. So, what is 27 divided by 42? Oh my gosh. 9/14. All right, so that's 9/14. And then what is 5 minus 1? Look at number 2. What would we have to do first? Multiply your exponent. So 2 times 3 is, and 6 minus 4 is. Dun, dun, dun. Blessings. Are we ready for power rule? Can we wake up a little bit out there? Be alive. All right, power rule. Power rule. When you raise a power to a power, what do you do to the exponents? Multiply them. Take a point. So what would we do with that m and the n? Multiply. So it would be a to the m times n. All right, so for number 1 below it, what would our answer be? X to the 6th. If you said x to the 6th, take a point. All right, what would we do on the next one, on number 2? Would we square that -2 out front? Okay, so what's a -2 squared? 4. And then we would do 5 times 2, which is? And then what would we do with the 10 and the 3? Add them. Take a point, Elmer. All right, do power of a product without me. The quicker you guys answer this, and let's do this, the quicker we get to find out who the murderer is. So let's hustle up, buttercups. You don't know. It could be Miss Peacock in the conservatory with a lead pipe. Do y'all not play Clue?
I love Clue.
She beat me in with
3 weeks ago? What do y'all do with your lives? What is happening? Get off the computer and your cell phones, children. Have conversations. You can't have conversations with people. Y'all, they are not real people that you're interacting with. They're not your best friend that you're talking to. You were a special case, like me with my best friend. It's a different thing. The rest of you have no excuse. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the power of a product means you raise everything in that parentheses. So it would be A to the M, B to the M. And then up here, what would we do with the coefficient of 2? Not the baby 2, the coefficient. Would we multiply it by 3 or would we cube it? Cube it, and what's 2 cubed? 8. And then we would do the exponent of 2 times 3, which gives us x to the 6th. Do number 2 without me. You should have already been done because I told you to do this one a minute ago, but we're just zombies out there this morning. No. No zombies, I didn't. I got 9, A to the 6th, B to the 10th. Yay! How many of us got that right? Take a point for your team. Killing it out there. What is the 0 exponent rule? Anything to the 0 power always equals what? 1. Hallelujah, we remember that. Alright, so is this 0 right here? Is it on the x or on the 7? It's only on the x. So what is our answer? 7. Because 7 times 1 is magic. Alright, for number 2, we would do 4 times 2, which is 8. And 8 minus 8 is? And anything to the 0 power is? Dun, 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 dun. We ready for power of, let's do negative exponent and then we'll talk about power of quotient. Negative exponent rule, what do? Flip it. So it becomes 1 divided by A to the M. Alright, so for number 1, is this negative 2 on the negative 5 or on the x? So what do we flip?
Just that.
Just the x. And where does the negative 5 go? The top. So it's negative 5 divided by x squared. Can you do number 2 without me? Pretty please, with sugar on top. What is happening? Okay, did we get 1/2 k cubed on bottom?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Take a point if you got that right. Alright, last one. Are we ready? Power of a quotient rule just means you still raise everything in that parentheses to the exponent. So this would become A to the M divided by B to the M. So for number 1, you would do 2 times 5, which is 10. And 4 times 5, which is? So it's just x to the 10th divided by y to the 20th. Now on number 2, what would you do? Yes. And you would get? You would raise that, so 3 squared is And 2 squared is? Love it when we answer. Thank you, Elmer. Take a point, Elmer. And then 6 times 2 is 12, and B would be to the 16th. Magic. What is not on here that we've talked about? Radicals and fractions as exponents, right? So when you have a fraction as an exponent, what do you do?
Oh, well, I don't know exactly, but I know that if it's a half, you would do it as if you were squaring it.
You would do the square root. Yes. So radical, when you have a rational exponent, which is a fraction, you turn it into a radical. So you're going to have to study that on your own, which is not on the sheet. Now your homework tonight is your study guide, which I will put the key up on Google Classroom. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see how I feel. Maybe. Maybe not. So these 2 sheets are your homework tonight to prepare you for your test. Are you ready for algebra clue? Figure out who killed whom. Now, what you're going to do, let me pause this because this doesn't have to be part of our video for today.